What's up everyone, welcome back. We're going to talk about September bass fishing, the best baits that work everywhere. Really tough time of year to fish. I'll tell you my favorite baits right now. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this content. We do all kinds of stuff with new tackle, trends in the industry, and then each month I do my favorite baits from the month. And I fished all over the place, so this kind of applies to all over the country. You know, I'm down here in Texas, tons of shad. That's really the theme in September in Texas. I used to live in Washington State. There's no shad there, so it's completely different. But the one theme about this time of year is bait fish. Bait fish are critical. I mean, really anytime, forage is a huge deal, but especially in September. Now, September is also what I think is the worst month to go bass fishing. I mean, I would rank it the bottom. If, you know, as long as the lakes aren't frozen over, those are gonna be worse, of course, but all things considered, September is a very hard time to fish. You know, I fished a lot of tournaments in September, you know, your championship tournaments, you know, different events, and they're always tough. Like last year here in Texas, Central Texas, I fished a tournament with 50, 60 boats. I caught 6 fish in 2 days and finished 4th. You know, not even a limit, you know, I mean, you could have 10 and I had 6 and I did well. So that just kind of shows you one instance of how bad it is. But really it's tough all over the place because fish are starting to transition. You know, in the summer in the south, it's very hot. So it's still hot, you know, it hasn't cooled down yet. So all summer long, those deeper fish or those summertime fish have been really getting pressured and they haven't started chasing bait yet, like full on. So September can be really challenging. In northern areas, it's still warm. It's not quite cooling down yet. So those fish really haven't made a big push. So that's why I say September is the worst month to go fishing. But you can still catch fish. And like I said, bait fish are really, really critical. So a lot of the baits that I'm gonna show you are really focused on imitating bait fish. And to get these top baits, I looked through all my different picture galleries from the past 6, 7 years. And you know, I travel all over the country fishing. So there's pictures from when I was in North Carolina in September, Washington State, up in Michigan, down here in Texas. So kind of a nice variety of places all over the country. And these were the themes. So like I said, bait fish are critical. So the first thing I'm gonna show you is a small swim bait. You know, we've all used the Kitech Swing Impact Fat. I really like the 2.8 because the bait fish are smaller this time of year. You know, they're hatched, you know, after the bass spawn in May or so they're still small. So 2.8 is a really good choice. Put it on a little ball head, 1/4 ounce, throw it around, you know, deep points. And if you have forward-facing sonar, it's a lot easier to find where the bait fish are. But really, really like the Kitech. Again, no secret. Now this year I have been mixing in the Rapala Crush City, the Mayor a lot more. In a lot of the same instances, I like this. It's a bigger profile than the 2.8 Kitech. Even though this is a 3-inch, it just feels bigger, but it's also a lot more durable. So I really like this Mayor as well, but you can't beat a Kitech or honestly any of the imitations. There's a lot of similar baits out there. I still think Kitech is the best one, but those other ones will still catch fish in September. Another one I like from Kitech is the 2.5-inch Swing Impact. It's a really thin bait compared to the Fat Impact. Now it's really small too, again, to match that bait fish. I like to throw this on a drop shot. You know, replace your straight tail worm with a little shad imitator. You know, you could reel it along the bottom and it just like fishing a swim bait, but you could also shake it and do everything else that you do with a drop shot. But I really like that, especially this time of year. This is actually one of the baits that I used in that tough tournament I was talking about last year. This is one of the best baits. A couple other ones that I really like are a walking topwater bait. Again, no secret here. This is the Duo Realis Pencil 100, I believe. Oh, it's a Pencil 110. But whatever your favorite walking bait is, there's a lot of really good ones out there. I like the clear translucent colors. It just makes the bait look a little smaller in my opinion. So again, when they're eating small bait fish, having a little bit of translucent color, it's not just a bright solid color that looks like a bigger bait fish. Of course, they're not gonna pass it up if they're hungry, but they're so focused on those little bait fish. Anything you can do to help will get you more bites. Now, September is also a very good month for a buzzbait. You know, if you have a full-size buzzbait with a toad like this is the Accent Jacob Wheeler version. It's a really good buzzbait. I mean, it does everything it's supposed to, works right out of the package. You know, put a toad on there, or it comes with a skirt as well. You can use that. But I also like to downsize to a little buzzbait. This one, I can't remember the brand. I'll put the link to this below. I will do some research and tell you what it is. But I like that smaller buzzbait. You know, that's a Lake Fork Magic Shad on the back of it, but you could use whatever you want. But I like that downsized buzzbait, again, especially if they're eating those smaller bait fish. Now, I will put links to all these below. They are Tackle Warehouse affiliate links. It doesn't change anything on your end, but that's one way you could support the channel. And again, it doesn't change anything on your end, and I'll put all those links below. Some other ones that I really like. I like a spinnerbait, which, you know, has kind of fallen out of favor in recent years because everyone throws swim baits and chatterbaits and things like that. But again, a smaller spinnerbait. This is the sling blades from Z-Man. This is the finesse one. There's a couple different versions, but it has a really, really good wire, so it's very durable. It's like a piano wire that they use, so it gets a lot of vibration, but this is the finesse compact version. Really like that this time of year. Also a jerk bait, and I'll downsize. Instead of a 110 like we always use, you know, something more like this. This OSP, I think it's called a Amica. It's a 95, but this is a good one. This size, you know, also even smaller, like a pointer 78. Again, you want to match those smaller bait fish, so you can still use a jerk bait, but just go down in size a little bit. And I really like this one from OSP. It's a little harder to find, but it is a very good high-end Japanese bait that casts really well because of the weight transfer system, even though it's smaller than your standard 110 jerk bait. Now, when I was living in Washington State, again, there's no shad there, so it was a lot of moving baits still, but it was baits that imitated things like perch and bluegill. That was really the primary focus. So I did a lot of cranking up there. You know, this is a Berkeley dime. This is the 6. It's kind of like the same place as you throw a DT6, but this is a very good bait. In that time of year in those waters. I really like this color as well. You know, chartreuse and black works really well. Kind of looks like a perch, kind of looks like a bluegill. It imitates a lot of things. So crankbait is very good this time of year. If you don't have shad, or even if you do have shad, it's a good bait. Same with a lipless crankbait. You know, this is the Yozuri Rattle and Vibe. You can't beat that. Really, anytime in the fall, a lipless is really good because, again, they're so focused on shad. So these are some baits, you know, nothing like groundbreaking here, but this is kind of the bread and butter of what you need in September to imitate shad, to imitate any bait fish that the bass are eating. You know, again, covering water, you know, being around the bait fish is really critical, and just knowing that it is a little bit more challenging this time of year to catch fish. If you keep that mindset, you know, it's still gonna be a good time to go fishing. I mean, anytime you can go fishing is a good time. Even if it's gonna be a little bit tougher fishing, still get out there and go fishing. But these are the baits that have worked for me across the country in the last several years. Again, nothing secret, but I just wanted to share the proven bread and butter baits that work in September. Thanks for watching.